What's up, guys? We're back with another video today. And guys, obviously last night UFC 317 just took place. Crazy card, honestly really exciting. I really enjoyed the card. Probably up there as probably the best card this year, I would say. But we're not here to talk about the fights now. What we are here to talk about is what is next for these fighters, UFC 317 edition. If you guys been a part of this channel, you know what I'm talking about. We're going to be going through most of the fighters, most of the winners, and a couple of the losers that happened, mainly on the main event and the co-main event. We'll talk about those guys, and we'll just talk about what's next. What are the best fights to make for these guys, right? It's not really the fact what's the best fight to make, like what's the most logical one. There are a couple on here, but it's more or less, what's the most exciting one? What's the best one you can make right now? And we're going to be starting off with the main event, and then we'll slowly trickle back down. We won't go through all of the fighters. We'll go through most of the key fighters, I thought, at least. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, now for the main event. Obviously, Ilia KO'd Charles Oliveira. He catched the body, basically. That's what happened, bro. It's sad. It's heartbreaking. We know what happened. But where does he go from here? Now, for me, right? For me, I would love to see Topuria versus Islam. Islam, get back down to lightweight. Regardless, like, listen, if you win the belt against JDM, or if you lose, get back down to lightweight and fight Ilia Topuria. This is literally the pound for pound number 1 versus pound for pound number 2. Arguably, Ilia is probably pound for pound number 1 right now. You can make an argument, bro. Volk, Holloway, and Charles Oliveira, back to back, and all by KO. Unbelievable run that is right there. That might genuinely put him at pound for pound number 1. We'll see what the UFC does coming on Tuesday. We'll see what they do. But I could literally see them putting him at pound for pound number 1. And listen, do I think this will happen next? No. Realistically, I think the most logical matchup, and the one that I would like to see as well, is Arman Serukian. I do think Ilia versus Arman will happen. I know they were teasing with Payne versus Ilia Topuria. That will probably happen as well. Let's say Islam does not move back down, right? And he stays at welterweight. And let's say Ilia beats Arman Serukian, which I do think will happen. I think Ilia will beat most of these guys. They'll probably then do Ilia Topuria versus Payne, and I do have Payne on here, and you'll see who I'll have him be matchmaked next. I do think that they will eventually do Ilia Topuria versus Payne. I do think that they will do that. If I had to choose between Islam versus Arman Serukian, I would 100% choose Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. It's so much more a bigger fight, but Arman versus Ilia, that's not a bad matchup, bro, and Arman should get the title shot. He should. Dude beat Charles Oliveira. He beat him before Ilia did. I'm sorry. It wasn't as impressive as how Ilia did. Ilia flatline KO'd him. KO'd him, bro. There's no better way you can do that against Charles Oliveira. Yes, he is chinny, but you get the point. Bro, flatline KOing Charles Oliveira is unbelievable, bro. I do think, realistically, it'll be Ilia versus Arman Serukian. I do think that will happen, and it does make sense. I won't lie. It does make sense. But me personally, Ilia versus Islam Makhachev is way more exciting, bro. Alright, now for the loser of the main event, Charles Oliveira. Listen, bro, I feel bad for Charles Oliveira, man. He's getting fed to now these young up-and-coming guys now. I think Charles Oliveira versus Payne is going to be the next fight. I've seen people say Payne versus Justin Gaethje will be the next fight. I could see that, and that would be a great fight as well. However, I don't think that will happen because I think Gaethje will actually retire. I think Gaethje's going to retire because I think he said, if I don't get a title shot in my next fight, I'm not fighting. I'm retiring. I'm pretty sure that he said that on social media, or I bet you it was Abdul Abdelaziz. I bet you he said that, not actually Gaethje. But regardless, I think Gaethje might retire if he does not get a title shot and he has to fight one more person before he gets a title shot. I do think that. If that's the case, then I do think Payne will fight Charles Oliveira, and then Ilia Topuria will fight Arman Serukian, and then if Payne then beats Charles Oliveira, then they'll do Ilia Topuria versus Payne. I think that's the layout that they're doing. I think that's the plans they're going to do, because it did seem like Dana White was very upset the fact that Payne won up stage with Ilia Topuria to face off with him. I mean, honestly, the fact he was upset about it makes me happy because, honestly, that was pretty exciting. That was actually pretty, I like that. I like that Joe Rogan actually did that. I bet you it was Joe Rogan who had that whole idea. So the fact that, like, Dana White was not happy that Payne was, like, up on the octagon with Ilia Topuria makes me think that it'll be Ilia versus Arman. and then I think that they'll do Charles Oliveira versus Patty Pimblett. Maybe Charles Oliveira retires. Maybe he does, but I don't think he does. I think he might try, like, if he loses a couple more times, I think he will definitely then retire, but I don't think he'll retire just yet. I think he might have, like, 2 to 3 more fights left in him, I think. All right, now for the winner of the co-main event, which was Pantoja, we know who it's going to be. Joshua Van versus Pantoja, bro. Pantoja, your time has come, bro. I'm sorry, bro. It's over. You're cooked, bro. Joshua Van is coming for that belt, bro. He is coming to destroy it. Pause. Major pause. Holy shit. But no, actually, I think this will be a relatively competitive fight. I do think so. I think Joshua Van will have some struggle when it comes to Pantoja's grappling. Pantoja probably has the best grappling in that entire division right now. If Joshua Van can, though, do good when it comes to Pantoja's grappling, he will destroy him on the feet, bro. It is night and day. And Pantoja, listen, he got the win over Kai Kara-France, and he dominated him. But Pantoja looked so tired, bro. He looked so gassed out. Especially for a flyweight, that is not good at all. Like, genuinely, how do you get gassed out at flyweight, bro? And Joshua Van is like the kryptonite for Pantoja, I think, because he is a pressure fighter. He is a pressure fighter. He will lay it all on Pantoja, and he will make Pantoja feel it. I could see them doing this at Madison Square Garden in, like, November. I really could see that. Unless, like, maybe they do a quick turnaround. Maybe they do that. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think that they'll do this at Madison Square Garden. If I had to make a guess, I think that's when they'll do it. All right, now for the loser of the co-main event, we have Kai Kara-France. Honestly, I have literally no idea what you do with Kai Kara-France. I could see them doing him versus Brandon Moreno. That's what I'm thinking they might do. I could see them doing maybe some other, like, contenders, maybe a Tajiro Ubekov, maybe they do that, but I don't think so. I think that it might be Kai Kara-France versus Brandon Moreno, maybe a rematch. I think that could be what they're going to do, because Brandon Moreno, he was also in the crowd, the cameras they were showing him. Don't know why they were doing that. Brandon Moreno, you are not getting a title shot, bro. You have to fight one more fighter. Fight Kai Kara-France, and then if you beat him, then you can get a title shot. That's what I think they'll probably do. I think they'll do Kai Kara-France versus Brandon Moreno for a rematch, and then the winner of that then fights for the title. All right, now I also want to give a little talk about Brandon Royval, because he obviously... Wait. All right, now for the loser of the feature fight as well, because he obviously lost to Joshua Van, Brandon Royval. I wanted to give a little bit of spotlight to Brandon Royval, man, because, man, he really went out there as well, bro. You have to give Brandon Royval all the flowers, all the respect, bro. He is not afraid of fighting any contender, bro. Like, give all respect to him, honestly. Now, as far as what you do with Royval, I'm not 100% sure. I think what they might do, I think they might try and reschedule Brandon Royval versus Beneil Dariush, because I think that is a pretty exciting fight. I think that if Beneil Dariush does beat Brandon Royval, he could potentially argue his way to a title shot. Maybe. You never know. But I don't think so. I do think that this will happen. I'm not sure when. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure why. But I do think it will happen. Maybe, but you never know, man. Beneil Dariush pulls out like every single fight, man. He really does. Either he pulls out or someone else pulls out. It's literally never, like, you never can be safe when Beneil Dariush fights, bro. Because he will 90% of the time pull out. All right, next up we have Beneil Dariush. Now, Beneil Dariush, he got a comfortable win against Vannata Moicano. Low-key, it was kind of boring. Low-key, it was a little bit boring, but at the same time, it wasn't. I thought it was an interesting fight. I thought it was all right, I would say. Nothing too crazy. I mean, I'm obviously upset that Vannata Moicano lost. I mean, Vannata Moicano, bro, what are you doing, bro? I mean, how do you drop Islam Makhachev and you somehow can't beat Beneil Dariush? Whatever. I think the fight for Beneil Dariush will be Mauricio Rufy. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Beneil Dariush versus Rufy is the next fight to make. Because I do remember Rufy called out Beneil Dariush. That was a great call out, man, honestly. I think Rufy versus Beneil Dariush will happen. I could see them doing this at the end of this year. I really could see that. I would love to see this fight. I think it would be a very interesting test for Rufy because, man, people forget, man, Beneil Dariush is a pretty crafty veteran, man. He's got experience. Beneil Dariush does have experience. He's a pretty awkward striker, I would say. Just the way he fights makes it really awkward, I would say. I think if Mauricio Rufy could get past Beneil Dariush, I would say he's a legitimate contender in this lightweight division. All right, now to end off the main card, we have Payne Talba. Obviously, Payne Talba got a really good win against Felipe Lima. I am extremely impressed by Payne Talba. Genuinely, he impressed me so much, bro. This guy has actually surprised me so well. That improvement from that fight is amazing because he looked absolutely dog shit in his last fight, bro. And now he genuinely looks like he could potentially be a contender finally. He was able to get on top against Felipe Lima, bro. That's insane, bro. I'm still in shock of how well he improved. And the call he made against Adriano Yanez, I think that's a pretty good call, I would say. I think that makes sense, I would say. Adriano Yanez just lost his last fight. He's not really the most insane fighter. He's a good test for Payne Talba, I would say, because he is quick. He is a bit chinny. But I don't think Payne Talba has, like, the craziest KO power. He does have KO power, but I don't think it'll be... I think he will be able to rock Yanez, but I don't think he'll be able to KO him. I do think this is a good test, though, for Payne Talba. I would love to see this. Maybe like the end of this year. Maybe you put this on the Noche card, honestly. You could put this on that card as well. Alright, next up we have Gregory Rodriguez. Gregory Rodriguez flatline KO Jack Hermanson. A little bit of a late stoppage, but I don't really care, bro. That's his job, bro. I'm not really one to judge. I think that the next fight for Gregory Rodriguez should be Joe Pyfer. Listen, hear me out. One of these two are going to get knocked out, and the winner of this fights a ranked opponent. I know Gregory Rodriguez just lost to Jared Cannonier in his last fight, but listen, I don't care, bro. Let's just do it. Gregory Rodriguez versus Joe Pyfer. Maybe somewhere at the end of this year, somewhere down those lines. Winner of this fights a ranked opponent, and one of them will get knocked out. 100%, bro. Two of the hardest hitting fighters in this division at middleweight. Easiest fight right here, and easiest like parlay. If you were to bet that this fight would be a KO, you would probably get this correct, because I genuinely cannot see this going to a decision or something like that. I genuinely can't. Alright, now also on the card we have Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez got a dominant win against Vivan Roviev. She dominated her, I would say. She did pretty good. Hear me out. Tracy Cortez versus Alexa Grasso. Put this on the Noche card as well, and you have a really good card, honestly. I think Grasso versus Tracy Cortez makes the most sense. Both have Mexican heritage. Both are really exciting. Alexa Grasso literally lives in Mexico. Tracy Cortez speaks Spanish. Perfect, I would say. Why not just put this on the Noche card? Easiest fight right here. Makes sense because Alexa Grasso lost her last fight. She's on a 2-fight losing streak. Tracy Cortez has built back some momentum. She could potentially fight at these higher ranked opponents. You never know, man. I would say just do this. Why not? All right, now for the final person on this card, we have Terance McKini. Terance McKini got a first round submission against Bishev Borshev. Like, this dude is literally allergic to going to a decision. Never has this guy, I just looked at his record. I actually am insane. Throughout his entire career, even before he got to the UFC, he has never once gone to a decision. Never. In like the span of like 20 plus careers he's had in MMA, not once has he ever gone to a decision. I mean, that's actually insane. I think the most logical matchup, man, Terance McKini versus Tom Nolan. Listen, bro. Listen. I think this is a good fight for Tom Nolan, and I think not Tom Nolan, guys, not Tom Nolan, we will beat Terance McKini. I think we will beat Terance McKini, and we will destroy him. We will knock him out, bro. We, not him. But guys, that is me giving my thoughts on what's next for these fighters. UFC 317 edition. Most of these fights will happen. I do think so. Honestly, great card, and I think that this card has really helped the UFC. I mean, the fact that Ilia Topuria, he is basically the next McGregor, bro. He really is, bro. I hope we get Islam versus Ilia Topuria, bro. That would be amazing. Leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace!